spent the entirety of their entire existence in the toilet bowl. They just became relevant. We don't even acknowledge the Cincinnati Bengals. They used to be called the Bungles, and they used to have the worst stadium in America.
Hey, listen, I can't deny that one.
Yes. Hey, look, since the last time we all got together on the No Cap Sports Show, it's been a lot of sports happening. College, pro, man, we got a lot to jump into, talk about, man. So, man, without further ado, let's jump into it, man, with our first topic, man. Who is your NFL MVP? This has been the talk of the town for the last 2-3 weeks, really. And people going back and forth right now. It seems like it's a two-man race, but there's been some other names that was thrown out as well. So I just want to get your guys' opinion, man. Who you got as the NFL most valuable player this year? Mo Money, why don't you kick it off for us, bro?
Man, it's tough, man. I wish the Bengals had made the playoffs. Like, no bullshit aside for old dog, man, because Joe Burrow deserved to be the MVP. But nobody's gonna vote an MVP in that didn't make the playoffs. That's a tough one, right?
That's bad.
So with that being said, man, I hate to say it because I know Kobe gonna Lamar Jackson, man. Hey, I'm looking at the stats. I think it's like 41 and 4. That's it. That's the touchdown to interception ratio. Man, that's crazy. And then you look at his receiving core versus a Joe Burrow receiving core versus a Josh Allen receiving core. And I thought Josh Allen receiving core was trash. I mean, outside of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, there's really not another receiver that's even in the top 25, top 30. You wouldn't put Bateman ahead of anybody that's on the Buffalo Bills roster or the Cincinnati Bengals roster. So for that reason,
that's not true. But go ahead. That's definitely not true.
So you would put Bateman over Jamar?
I put Bateman over our number 3 receiver right now.
But that's Lamar Jackson's number 2.
You said over any. You said over.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. No, you're right.
You didn't say 1 or 2. You said over any.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because y'all got that guy Yasha, whatever his name is.
I don't even. Some dude from the Ivy League, man. I don't know, man. I don't even want to talk. Go ahead, Mo.
That's my vote. I'm gonna let y'all go. That's my vote, Lamar Jackson. It could come down to Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but I'm going Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Pumi, talk to us, brother.
I did my Money Mo research. I'm gonna go last on this one. I did my Money Mo. I did all my research on this one.
Okay, all right.
I can go right now. I'm very simple. Saquon Barkley. Period. I'm Saquon. Done deal. Obviously, it would be Joe for me, not just because he's the Cincinnati Bengals. Because if the 2 quarterbacks that's done what he's done this year, both of them won MVP. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And his amount of touchdowns to ratio to interceptions is crazy. But you can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't start the way we started and not make the playoffs and even be considered. So it's unfortunate, but we got a lot of building to do. We need to go get some old linemen and some other main pieces. We did the first thing, get rid of that D coordinator, but mine's a Saquon, man, and just what he's done, what he's accomplished, and so simple. Mine's just a Saquon. Definitely not that dude that played for Baltimore or the other guy that played for the Toronto South team.
I respect that. Hey, Plume, I already know who your pick is, but we, let the viewers and listeners hear your pick for MVP this year.
So when we talk about stats, right? You talk about stats. I think one of the most important stat for quarterbacks, flat out, is winning, right? Because when you look at the stats last year, Josh Allen threw for 700 more yards than Lamar, and he was responsible for 15 more touchdowns than Lamar last year. Lamar won the MVP because Josh Allen was 11-5 as a starter. Lamar Jackson was 13-3. This year the narrative has changed now. Lamar's doing better. Now Lamar got a couple more passing yards. But when you look at the advanced stats, Josh Allen is responsible for 80% of his team's offense, the highest level in NFL history. Their offense is averaging 3 points per drive. That's the highest in NFL history without having a 1,000-yard rusher or a 1,000-yard receiver. Josh Allen is doing it all, and he's winning. 13-3 as a starter. Give my man his MVP, man. Cut it out. It ain't
man
even
only threw 28 touchdowns, bro. 28 touchdowns.
And he wins. He's responsible, but he ain't got to throw. Part of being MVP as a quarterback is he's getting them in the end zone. They averaging 3 points per drive. That means every time they get the ball, they average.
Okay, all right. That's enough of that, man. I need to speak now because for one, don't come on a No Cap Sports Show podcast and imitate fucking Dan Orlovsky, man. I don't want to hear no fucking Dan Orlovsky stats, man, because that's no, we don't want to hear that. So this is what I'm saying. You know, y'all already know my pick is Lamar Jackson. All right, and the reason why I'm going with Lamar is for one, Mo, you already pointed out here his numbers. He got 41 passing touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. That has never been done before in the history of the NFL. 41 passing touchdown with only 4 interceptions. That has never been done. And then you add another 4 rushing touchdowns, you know, that gives them 45 touchdowns on the year. And that's not even including 915 yards rushing. You know what I mean? That people like to gloss over all the time. 915 yards rushing. All right. And then you go strength of schedule. We talked about this in the preseason before the league even started. The Baltimore Ravens had the number 2 toughest or hardest schedule in the NFL for the 24-25 season. You got to remember that. Also, the conference that the Baltimore Ravens play in, they play in the AFC North. Everybody know the AFC North is a beast, is a monster, it's physical, it gets nasty. So to come out of that conference and win the conference, even though his record is 11-5, and the games that Josh Allen played, he only lost 3 games. I'm putting more weight on that 11-5 over that 13-3 that Josh Allen had, because you look at Josh Allen's conference, the second place team didn't even have a 500 record. They were sub 500. The Miami Dolphins was 8-9. The Patriots was 4-12. The other team is somewhere like the 4-12. Y'all playing, so y'all got 6 games against cupcakes.
Yeah, but you can't do that, Cole. You can't do that, Cole.
Because you got 6 games against cupcakes, and we got 6 games where we gotta play Pittsburgh, who's monsters, who had a top 4 defense this year. We had to play Cleveland, who was awful in terms of record, but they had the number 1 defense in the league this year. Don't forget that. And then y'all already mentioned how dangerous the Cincinnati Bengals are. Nobody wanted to see them make the playoffs this year, including myself, because they're dangerous. They got the most explosive offense in the entire NFL. And Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying?
He has a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and he has a running back that ran for 1,900 yards.
And let me
come on, man. When you can turn around and hand the ball off to somebody that's almost getting 2,000, of course that's going to open up a lot more for your quarterback. Of course.
Let me respond to that. How many had any Baltimore receivers picked as a top receiver in the league this year? When they came out the ESPN top 100 and then they had the ESPN top 20 receivers, the Baltimore Ravens was not represented at the receiver spot. All right, we all know King Henry. We know his greatness, whatever the case may be. But let me start with King Henry. He had the most rushing yards he had in 4 years. He had the highest rushing average per carry than he's ever had in his entire career. You feel me? And then you got the first 1,000-yard receiver in the history of the Baltimore Ravens franchise history. They never had a 1,000-yard receiver in that organization's history. So I'm telling you, is Lamar Jackson being a quarterback is like being a great point guard in the NBA. You make players around you better, even if they are already great players. You make them even greater. He made Derrick Henry greater. He made Zay Flowers greater. He made Bateman greater. He even rejuvenated Mark Andrews' career. Everybody thought Mark Andrews was done, and now he's back to being a Pro Bowl caliber tight end again. That's what Lamar Jackson did this year. And not to mention his QBR is top 4 in the history of the NFL. The only 2 names in that list in the top 4 is Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning. And both of them can make a case, arguably, as being the best 2 quarterbacks to ever play the game. So that's the type of stuff Lamar did this year. His stuff was historic. It wasn't that he just had a great season. It was historically great. And you can't over that.
Cole, and that's all. That's good. Cool. That's great. Both of y'all had great points. I think the whole problem with the MVP is done before it's the regular season.
Right.
That's what it is.
No, what I'm saying is now I think the MVP should be the MVP when it's all said and done. Right?
Well, you get an MVP for the Super Bowl.
I know that. But the Super Bowl, that's one game. I'm just talking about throughout the playoffs. I think we should hold off and maybe wait 1 or 2 games. And I think because sometimes, like, I'm not saying this about Lamar, but I'm just saying, like, when Lamar win the MVP, but then Lamar is great. Josh Allen is great, but I want to see when it's in the playoffs. Like Lamar is done, no question. But when it's regular season, that's just like when teams are the regular season champs. Let's see what you do in these playoffs when these windows get smaller. It's just same thing with Josh Allen. Can you get over that hump? 2 times without Stephon Diggs. Yeah, you had a great regular season, and what Kobe is saying is right. You do, but what Kobe also saying is, if you can't do that because it's not Buffalo fault that the division that they in, right? You play who's in front of you, and Buffalo been wiping up the teams that's in front of them. So we can't. We got to be careful when we say, oh well, you playing against this division or you playing against it. You got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, appreciate it, Ant. I just think that. I think that once that regular season is, even if it was just the 2 games in the playoffs, I think that's when we sort of see, especially when it's such a close battle like this year. You got, what I'm saying, with Lamar, with, what I'm saying, Josh Allen. I think that would be dope. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. That's just my opinion. I think it would be better.
Because I respect that 100%, but this is a regular season award, and you look across all sports. They all have regular season MVPs, regular season player of the year. That's just what it is. And then they have their own category for postseason.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. If that was the case, Travis Hunter shouldn't have got the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? But he deserved that Heisman, and he was the most impressive and the best player in all of college football. So that's why they break it down like that. So I can't judge somebody's regular season based on what you think they're going to do in the playoffs or what they did in the playoffs in the past. To me, it's just it's
regular season play. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying. I think it would be cool if it wasn't just because MVP to me means most valuable player.
Yeah.
Not just the regular season. I don't care what you did in the regular season, Lamar. Who cares if you go undefeated and then we're going home right after Cincinnati went home?
Well, we know if it was the playoffs included, we know Lamar wouldn't be contention because we know he eats a sandwich every year in the playoffs.
That's all I'm saying.
Every year in the playoffs, we know
you
Lamar.
Know what? It's all about the next opportunity. Yeah, he hasn't played. He hasn't played great in the playoffs in the past, and a lot of those bad playoff appearances is when in his younger years. And then last year he laid an egg in the AFC Championship game. But it's all about getting better, progressing, and your next opportunity. So now here we go again. He comes in with a better running game. He comes into the playoffs this year as a better passer, a better decision maker. And I think they have a team to make some noise. So let's see what he do. Y'all already acting like this man is going to lay an egg before he even play his first playoff game.
Well, I got him at least hitting 2 cheerleaders on the sideline in the face.
The most important stat for quarterbacks is wins and losses. No matter how football is an ultimate team sport, but quarterbacks are judged on wins and losses. Period. End of story. Josh Allen got more wins. Give my man a
So hey, look, we on the group chat all the time. You know, when anytime one of my teams win or anytime one of y'all teams win, we on the group chat talking our trash, right? We talking our talk. And what dog, y'all played the school of the blind. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? He quit to tarnish a victory one of our teams have, right? So now all of a sudden, when we having this debate, you can't help who's on the schedule, who you beat.
Hey, Money Mo. Hey, quick question, Money Mo. Who the 2 best teams in the NFL right now?
Man, shit, they both in the NFC.
Well,
if you're going by record, you going by record.
Detroit Lions can't get a Chiefs. So as bad as our division was, we kicked the Chiefs' ass and we kicked the Lions' ass.
And I'm glad you said that. And we kicked y'all ass.
Ooh. Yeah, you did. Y'all did.
31-10, if I'm not mistaken.
And Kobe, you can't just be. You should have been talking about what I said. Well, you can't be talking about Lamar Jackson. He young. He doing this, and this, and he getting better. Nah, if you gonna say he was young and he making mistakes, then you gotta say young. We gonna praise him too. You know what I mean? Both sides, like you saying. Right. I get you. That's enough.
Get the blame in the fans.
Man, that's enough about Lamar, man. Next topic, bro.
See, but look, that topic wasn't even about Lamar. Y'all just made he's so great. Y'all made.
Well, you've been talking about him for 10 minutes. You did 5 minutes of stats.
Hey, look. Hey, when you quarterbacking this thing, you
got Pumi reading a piece of paper. Money Mo, he reading the paper. That you got Pumi reading stats, man. Come on, man.
He got Orlowski sound bite in his earbud.
I was doing my research.
Yeah,
it was good. Hey, salute. You did your research.
So another piece of news. So another sports news topic that's been discussed for the past few days. Is Tyreek Hill. He comes out. They take a loss their last game of the season, and he gets interviewed at the end of the game, and he's like, "Man, I went out. You know, I can't do this no more, man. I'm not used to losing this, that, or the other, man." What's y'all thoughts on that, man? I got my own thoughts, but I'm gonna kick it off with y'all, man. Hey, Poon, man, what you think about Tyreek Hill's statements?
I mean, you know, he asked to get to Miami. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the bread. You got your bread, but I ain't mad at it. Like, if I don't know that my quarterback gonna be here with me every week, like, man, when Tua was gone, the people they had playing quarterback, man, that was terrible. They looked like Lamar Jackson his first 2 years trying to throw the football, man. It was terrible. They couldn't kick Tyreek Hill the ball for shit. So if I go through that, you know, you got a finite time, especially a guy like Tyreek Hill. You know, somebody like Larry Fitzgerald or a bigger receiver, you like, you know, I take care of my body. My game translates into getting older. Tyreek Hill, man, them hamstrings don't go into the 30s. It ain't a lot of people with hamstrings that go into the 30s, and Tyreek Hill game is built on his hamstrings. So he like, man, I got me just a little bit of time to maximize what I can do with my talent. So if he like, man, I got to get the fuck out of here on what is gonna make his career better, you know, I can't be mad at him.
Nice. More money. Your thoughts, brother?
Man, I said this like 3 years ago when it happened, Kobe. We had the show. We was talking about Pat Mahomes, and you said Tyreek Hill, he was gonna miss him. I said, no, I think Tyreek Hill gonna miss Pat Mahomes. The league only has about 5 quarterbacks every decade that are like that, and Pat Mahomes is one of them. Where you gonna go besides Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and find a quarterback like that? So you have to ask yourself, I don't know the reports and I ain't counting this man money, but if the reports are true and you talking about a $5-10 million difference, right? and you playing with this quarterback, and you got that machine, is it really worth it to chase the extra dollars? So he put himself in that position. Him wanting out, that's his business. But at the end of the day, you should have known what it was. Like you seen Tua at Alabama, the boy wasn't right in college. And you left one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation, of this generation, to go play with him. So you put yourself in that position. But him wanting out, to the question, I get it. I understand. Tua is not reliable. The Miami Dolphins, we talk about the Cowboys and some of these other teams, man, they ain't been good since 1975. Man, you know what I mean? Dan Marino had a little run, but after that, they've been trash ever since. So I understand why he won out. But I will say this. The place that you go, you making $30 million a year. Where you going to slide in for a good team when you making $30 million a year? So be careful what you ask for.
He had to make that first move, though, Money Mo. That man got 10 kids, man. You can't feed 10 kids a Super Bowl rings, baby. He had to go get that chalupa first, man.
Yeah.
Hey, he need to be. Hey, put me with that.
He got it. He like, man, I can pay for these kids now. Now I can go think about winning again.
If you win in Super Bowls, bro, you gonna get the endorsement deals. You got the State Farm commercials, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look. Tyreek Hill ain't getting no endorsements to get to $30 million. Like $30 million endorsements, that's Peyton Manning at the top of his game. Like it take a lot to get to $30 million.
We talking we talking $3 to $5 million because Kansas City was gonna pay him anywhere between 25 and 27. They topped it off with 30. That's what I'm saying. Like that window is small. You can make that up in endorsements. 100% you can make that, especially if you win it.
Well,
maybe. Dog, Tyreek Hill statements, fair or foul?
Fair. And very simple. It's not so much towards Tua. I think it's more just towards the organization. And hey, look, I need a quarterback. That's one of the bad things about playing offense. Whether you play running back, receiver, or quarterback, you need to depend on someone else. If you're playing defensive, or you playing rush edge, or you playing LB and you the edge, or you playing DB, I'm out there by myself. I don't care if we're 1-15. I'm out here balling. I got 6 picks. Yeah, we losing. I got 6 picks. I got 3 to the crib. I'm doing my thing. So when you're playing that offensive position, you got to have a quarterback to help. You know what I'm saying? You and that quarterback got to be on the same page, whether you play wide receiver or running back. So I think Patrick Mahomes missed Tyreek though too, right? That's the reason why you go get a wide receiver that run the fastest in the NFL combine. That's why they went and got Hollywood Brown, because if they didn't miss that deep, that downfield threat, then why would they go get those guys? They went and got those guys to try to replace Tyreek Hill, which they haven't done yet. They still haven't done it.
They haven't done it, but they got 2 rings though.
100%. You found a way to win. I'm not saying that they didn't. What I'm saying that don't mean because you got a ring, that don't mean I don't miss him being, because they would have had 2 rings, but them 2 rings might have came a little bit easier when Tyreek Hill is there. Because Tyreek Hill walk in the room, and if you're a smart defensive coordinator, when we get our plans for that week, you better believe Tyreek Hill is the first person on there besides with Patrick Mahomes. This is who we need to stop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I can agree with that.
I'm saying. It definitely make Patrick Mahomes' job a little easier. It make Travis Kelce's job a little easier, because now everybody's not pushed down. Everybody is now, they got to back up. Those safeties got to back up. Those linebackers got to back up. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It give Patrick Mahomes a little bit more time to throw the ball, because now you can't blitz me like you used to. You better not. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Tyreek Hill brings more than just that down the hill, downfield or catches or whatever. He brings the threat that every time I touch the ball, I can score no matter where I'm at.
Yeah.
And who has the Kansas City Chiefs had since Tyreek Hill been gone? That can do that.
That's big facts. That's big facts, because
my point is
about knocking the top off the defense, but because Hollywood Brown and they got to respect their speed, but the defensive coordinator's not respecting your speed if you're not a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a playmaker, and you got to figure Pat Mahomes didn't score 30 points at all this year. They're the only team in the NFL that didn't score 30 points one time.
Wow.
My point is, fellas, like, what else Kansas City supposed to do? Is Pat Mahomes the highest paid quarterback? Is Travis Kelce the highest paid tight end? Is Chris Jones the highest paid defensive tackle? No. It's sacrifices have to be made in this game if you want to win. They asked Tyreek Hill to take a small sacrifice. We're not talking about 30 down to 18 million. We talking 30 to 25. Again, I ain't counting this man money. I don't know what he got going on. But if you want to,
we got to look that up, Money Mo. I think it was a little bit more than $5 million difference, brother. We got to look. Yeah, search that for your boy. I think it was a little bit more than just $5 million.
We had, you know how that works when you get into incentives and stuff like that.
I'm just talking about. I think it was more about. It wasn't so much about the overall per year. I think it was the guaranteed that was a big difference. I think
might be true, though.
And when we talk about, like Pumi said, when we talking about guaranteed with them kids that need to eat, and I got 9-10 kids, hey, listen, I can go get the bread and go back. So a lot of people, he can go back. But I think simple, sorry for the long whatever. I think Tyreek Hill is starting to understand, hey, I need to get out of here and try to get me a ring before I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. And while Mo Money looking up that information, my opinion on it is, hey, look, you chose the bag and living in South Beach,
right,
over winning Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. And you know, when things started to go south, or when that money that you got up front started to run out.
Speaking of money, Kobe, he got right here on sportstack.com, he got 59 guaranteed from Miami.
And what did Kansas City offer him?
That's money. Mo.
Right. It came down to the guarantees. Kansas City was offering 45. They was 50 plus. That's what
they 59 guaranteed.
Yeah, so they're like 14, 15 million off.
Yeah. That's a big fucking difference.
That's a big difference.
That's a lot of money.
That's big difference.
A lot of goddamn money. Right.
Yeah. And I don't fault Tyreek Hill at all to go to Miami and get that bag. The only thing I'm saying is, now that bag may be starting to, you done spent it and things not going as well on the field. Right. Let's not complain about it, because these people brought you over to their organization and gave you the bag because that's how much they thought about you. Yep. And then, I think Jay-Z had a song, It Was All Good, just a week ago. He wasn't complaining when he was playing for possibly breaking Megatron's record and getting 2,000 yards in the season and all that stuff. And they still wasn't going nowhere, progressing through the playoffs or making the playoffs. But he was happy then. He wasn't complaining then. So all I'm saying is, don't complain now. You play out your contract. You play as hard as you can. And then when you become a free agent, if you choose to move on gracefully.
Hey, you make all great points, but it's tough when you don't have that quarterback playing that wide receiver position. I don't think he was complaining too much with Tua when they was losing with Tua. But when you start putting in I can't even name who the quarterbacks was. It very rarely do you find a guy, and that's why Pumi sort of named the bigger body styles like a Larry Fitzgerald. It ain't too many D Hops out here in this world.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Because D Hop did it. D Hop did it with quarterbacks we don't even know. And that's why you got to salute a gentleman like that. You know what I mean? Getting 1,000 here, 1,000 there every year with the quarterbacks we can't even name. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't think he was complaining when he was losing with Tua. I just think overall frustrated or whatever. But you 100% right. You're 100% right.
That's fair. Good point, old dog. And keeping along the lines of quarterback play, we saw a lot of great young quarterbacks this season, rookie quarterbacks. In your opinion, old dog, do you think this was the best NFL quarterback draft class since 2004?
That's a tough one. 2004 was, you got some, I don't know. I think we need to see a little bit more, but it was definite. I mean, to be honest with you, the only rookie quarterbacks that I like that's really out here boogieing is Daniels and Boy up in Denver.
Yeah.
So
yes, so you don't like?
I think the jury's still out on the young man from Chicago and the youngin, Penix in Atlanta. Like, I think the jury's still out on those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you really look at it, they only had 2 that was out here really boogieing.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful when we say 2004. You got Hall of Famers.
Eli, Phillip, Ben Roethlisberger.
Come on, man. Done. Yeah. So to answer your question, keep it simple. No, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, and I get it because the first names that do pop to mind is Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, right? You know what I'm saying? You those 2 quarterbacks doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of stock, a lot of praise, and a lot of projections where they saying that may be the best quarterback to come out that draft class as we go and progress into the future of the NFL. What's your thoughts on that, Money Mo?
So real quick, we all know the league 2004. That was 20 plus years ago, right? It was a different NFL in 2004. Like, wide receivers was getting harassed from the dressing room. It wasn't this free open space that they running now. Quarterbacks was really getting hit. So it was a lot harder for that class of 2004 to come in and do what they did. That's why it was never done before.
Mm-hmm.
So in this new NFL where everything is open, you'll see more quarterbacks that are young be able to come in and perform. But I can't put this class, man, in that class alone, we saw a run of just NFC championships, AFC championships. Shit, we got the Tom Brady killer in that class. You know what I mean? So it's gonna take a lot to top that 2004 for me, Kobe.
Yeah, and I get it, but we looking at that 2004 draft class as to what they already did. So it's kind of easy to make that argument, but if you can kind of erase what they did and just think about it in the talent aspect, you know what I mean, and 2023's talent 2024 talent versus 2004 talent. I'm looking at these quarterbacks this year, and I'm thinking they have the potential and they have the talent to be better than all of those quarterbacks that you just named from that 2004 draft. I mean, this is their first season, so we haven't seen it yet. But just going strictly off of potential and what we think they can do, I think this group is more talented than the 2004 group. What's your thoughts on that, Pumi?
I think it's tough to say that because we've seen what they are, and I think sometimes now, and we have become a microwave generation, and we want to make comparisons right now. Like, if we think back, Phillip Rivers ain't played as great as Phillip Rivers was, and wound up being, he didn't play as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So how can we compare? Like, say, oh man, Jaden Daniels and Phillip Rivers ain't played, but he had a hell of a career. We don't know what Jaden Daniels is going to do. You know what I'm saying? So coming out the gate, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix had 2 of the best seasons ever for rookie quarterbacks. We can say that. We can acknowledge that. But we also got to acknowledge that that's 4 Super Bowls that came. Because who else was in that? It was just Ben and Eli that got Super Bowls out that class, right?
I think so.
Phillip didn't get it. Phillip didn't get
one. But did anybody else get drafted in that class?
I don't think so. I can look it up real quick. I don't think so though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I like
Roethlisberger did go to the Super Bowl his second year.
No, and I thought that was his rookie year. He went.
Yeah, it might have been his rookie year.
It was his rookie year that he went. It was his rookie year. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to
you got to be. So I think we got to be careful of comparing.
It's not an apples to apples type of deal.
And
you know what I'm saying?
People thought RG3 was going to be the next. People in Washington D.C. was about to make him the president.
Dante Cope for president. It ain't work out too.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. No disrespect to the young boy as in Houston Texans, but he ain't having the year he had last year. And now part of that, a lot of that is because his receivers got hurt. obviously Tank Dell, Stephon, and Tank or whatever. But even before they got hurt, he wasn't doing what he was doing. But once again, it goes back to what we talked about: a quarterback relying on receivers and receivers relying on a quarterback.
Hey, old dog, you got to take credit for the thing that you brought to this show. When one of the first shows you brought it out, you said everybody got to be careful praising these young quarterbacks because defenses don't have tape. When they get that tape on you, they start learning your tendencies. Are you going to be able to overcome those tendencies? So I want to see what these young players do next year when everybody in the offseason start drafting against their talents. You start seeing the Philadelphia Eagles draft a special defensive end or outside linebacker with speed to play against that run. So that's what I want to see.
100%. Which one was on?
That's a great point.
Go ahead, Cole.
No, go ahead, Odar. That was a great point.
To talk about the tendencies real quick. What's the boy name that was it with the Tennessee Titans? The quarterback, black quarterback. No, the black quarterback.
Vince Young.
Vince Young. So Vince Young was on the podcast, and Vince Young was talking about tendencies. Vince Young was on the podcast. He said they had just lost in the AFC, whatever. They was over in Cabo. And he said a gentleman that worked for the New England Patriots came up to him and told him, "Hey, I get paid to watch you and watch your games." And he was like, "What you mean?" He said, "Let me give you an example. Every time you come to the offensive line, when you go underneath center, you rock back and forth. And then when you stop, that's when the ball is snapped." So we literally are telling our rush ends and the people while we're setting up our blitzes, when he's rocking back and forth, or we disguise all. But when he stops, just know that's when the ball is being snapped. That is how precise this game that's called the National Football League has gotten. So, let's be careful. Like we said, let's be careful and see. Now that you that next year come back, we can have this conversation again. But now, I don't think it's close. That's just my personal opinion. I think a lot of people sleep on what Eli did, or whatever. So.
That's fair, but I do want to give a shout out. I think in the small sample size that we saw Penix, I thought he did show us something. And
shout out to Fredo. Shout out to Fredo. Fredo fried me when I said Atlanta did the right thing by drafting Penix. Fredo, the OG, fried me. He's like, I don't understand it. You understand it now.
You understand it now, and even with the struggles that Williams had, I saw a lot of talent there. It's just I think that organization that he's playing for is just he gotta get out of there, in my opinion, or they need somebody else to come in there and lead that organization, that franchise. All right. Hey, look, we got playoffs coming this weekend, man. I know y'all got your predictions, man. Who we got, man? First wild card round of the NFL playoffs. We got some great games. More money, man. Let's start with you, man. Who you like? Who you like the first weekend?
All right, so we got Houston and the LA Chargers. Man, that's a tough one because neither one of them are trustworthy. But I guess I'd have to go with the proven coach, which would be Jim Harbaugh, and I'll take the Chargers.
Great
Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I can't trust the doggone. We gotta stop cursing, right? I can't trust the doggone.
We can't curse no. Sorry, listeners and viewers, we can't curse no more.
I gotta trust the damn Pittsburgh's offense. I can't trust it, so I'm gonna take Baltimore. Buffalo and Denver. I don't trust rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger ain't walking through that door. Give me Buffalo. Green Bay and Philly. Give me Philly. Give me Saquon Barkley. Tampa Bay and Washington. That's another game. I don't like neither one of them, but I go with the home team, which is Tampa. And then the LA Rams and Minnesota. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking the Rams in the upset. I don't like what I see from Sam Darnold. I don't like it.
Damn, Money, no, you tough on the tough on the quarterbacks. Yeah. Wow.
Hey, that last game, old dog. I seen it in his eyes, bro. I seen it. It broke him.
You said it's starting. It's the real deal starting to happen now, huh?
The clock struck midnight.
Yeah. Hey, Poon, what you got?
I'm with Money Mo on a lot of them, man. I feel the same way. I feel like Sam Darnold about the Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what he been doing all season, but he ain't been Sam Darnold. I think we about to see, who he really is. I like the Rams over the Vikings. One, the game that I really have been like on the fence on is this Green Bay. Like, I know they lost Christian Watson, but people sleep on Green Bay. When you look at Green Bay, they kicked everybody's ass in the NFL except for Minnesota and Detroit. Like, they only lost 5 games. They lost to Minnesota, Detroit, and they lost to the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? In Brazil. At the beginning of the season. So that's 5 games. Like, that's it. But they beat everybody else, and they only lost them 5 games. I want to say by like a total of 9 or 11 points. It wasn't a lot. They ain't getting blown out. They was losing by 3-4 points, and then Jalen Hurts still in concussion protocol. If he may not play. So I think that Jalen Hurts has not cleared concussion protocol. As of today. So I don't feel real comfortable about saying Philly. But but I kind of feel the same way, man. About and I ain't just saying it's the best with Kobe, man. But man, y'all ain't got no great history against Pittsburgh at home, man. Like that ain't no just and as bad as Pittsburgh's offense has looked, Pittsburgh also can win a game 12-9 against y'all, or 12-10, and it can be a knockdown, drag out AFC North battle.
Yeah.
But they got a level of familiarity with y'all, and Pittsburgh they just a tough ass team, you know what I'm saying? And I don't ever think Mike Tomlin team is an easy out, especially when it's somebody that they got that familiarity with. So
especially if they just got their ass kicked.
By Baltimore. Yeah, so I think that that's gonna be a tough one, man. Them 2 games, the 2 games I really want to see, because I think those 2 games are going to be, can really go either way. You know what I'm saying? And,
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Oh, dog. Who you like? First weekend.
I like the LA Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Minnesota Vikings. I think Sam Darnold gonna bounce back. When you got a guy like Justin Jefferson, he gonna force him to bounce back. I like Pittsburgh, not just because I don't like Baltimore. I just like Pittsburgh because I think because when a team just beats you like that, and like you said, when you playing a division team, stuff go out the window, man. You know each other's tendencies. I think that's gonna really come down. I think it's gonna be a slug. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of scoring. I think it's just gonna be one of those type of AFC North battles, or whatever. I think it is. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm taking Washington to go down to Tampa and upset Tampa. And Buffalo. Who y'all play?
Denver.
Oh, and I'm taking Denver to upset Buffalo. Ooh. I like Denver to upset. I like Denver to upset Buffalo. I think a lot of people sleep on, man. Denver got a good defense, man.
Great defense.
They got some guys that can get after the passer, and they got a corner that can say, "Hey, I'll take this guy." Pastor Surtain said, "Hey, I'll take this guy, and you guys can do whatever you guys want. You can do all kinds of coverages and whatever." I think it's gonna be a good game, and I think they got enough speed up front to get after Josh Allen, where you can keep a linebacker to maybe spy him from all that running stuff that he be doing or whatever. So I think it's gonna be a good. I think that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I'm going with Minnesota. I'm not going to judge Sam Darnold by the last game he played. He been lights out all season long. I got the Chargers over the Houston Texans. They just haven't been looking that great for the past several weeks to me, and I trust the Chargers a little bit more. I think they I like Harbaugh as the coach. He's been there, done that. I'm taking Buffalo over Denver, even though I think that's a tricky game because just all the points that old dog just made, I see them too, but. With the season that Josh Allen having and the Bills is having, I just think they can overcome any obstacles in that game. originally I was gonna go Green Bay over Philly, but Green Bay, we're losing Watson, we're losing their outside threat and all that stuff, and I get it that Philly's quarterback, concussion protocol, but O-Dog said in the beginning of the show, man, his MVP pick was Saquon Barkley. As long as you got that man right there to hand it off to, you know what I mean?
And that old line, ain't nobody hurt. Look, ain't nobody in that old line in concussion protocol. Shit.
Right, and then they had some, and then they got some hell of a receivers on the outside. So so whoever that, so whether what's his name? Who?
Kenny Pickett,
Jalen Hurts. Whether Jalen Hurts play quarterback or his backup.
And that's what I'm saying. Kenny Pickett wasn't he in the draft class last year's draft class 2023?
Oh yeah.
First round.
Yeah.
Out of Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Philly in that matchup. And then last, I'm going Baltimore over Pittsburgh, but I am worried, because like you said, both teams familiar with each other. It's an AFC ugly game, you know what I'm saying? But I get it that Pittsburgh has been looking bad for the past several weeks. They can't generate any points. And we've been trending the other way. Our running game been going well, our passing game been going well. So I think we do pull out that game. But one thing that does concern me, we out here in the DC, Baltimore area, Friday night is going to snow into Saturday. So so it's a good chance that there will be snow on the ground for that game on Saturday night. So that may change up strategies a little bit and may help out Pittsburgh a little bit more.
Zay Flowers supposed to play. Is he?
So right now he's day to day. They say he's getting better, so he does have a chance to be on the field on Saturday. So that's good news. But I'm looking forward to this first, man. These first week games are monsters, man. NFL season has not let us down at all this year.
No.
Yeah, so shout out to them, man. So let's transition over, man. We also got some other big time games, man, in the college ranks. Bro, we got the Final Four of the college football playoffs. Four really good teams that's competing to go to the championship game and
Miami.
Not them. and potentially win a national title. But before we get into the 4 teams that's playing in the Final Four of the playoffs, what's your reactions to Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame, and James Franklin, head coach of Penn State, breaking ground as the first black coaches to lead their teams to a CFP semifinal? Man, let's start with you, O-Dog. What's your thoughts on that?
Very simple. Respect and honor to them both. 2 black head coaches that's doing it the right way. One of them at basically more of a white university at Notre Dame. Obviously, the demographic is a lot different there, and for him to get that opportunity, because we all know, as you being a Notre Dame fan, Kobe, a lot of the fans was calling for him to be fired, and get him out of there. So for him to bounce back, man, salute to him. And then I've always been a fan of James Franklin, even when he was at University of Maryland. I think University of Maryland messed up by not giving him the job, and they brought the dude Fred, whoever they gave. I forgot who it was. Whom you remember? Who they gave it to? Was it Fridge?
No, that wasn't Fridge. It was the So they gave it the dude that said I can't. That's what I was there the first time when the one that killed the kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So So they I think they should have gave it to him, but they decided to give it to another gentleman. So salute to both those guys. I think it's going to be awesome to see. It's a shame that they put both those guys against each other. Obviously, that's just the way the numbers fell or whatever. It would have been awesome to maybe see them play in the Super Bowl, sort of like Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith did back in 2006.
Mm-hmm. Pumi, what's your thoughts about 2 black quarterbacks representing their teams and universities in the CFP semifinals?
Well, black coaches, not quarterbacks, but I take my hat off. Salute to both of them. I hate the Beijing that Marcus Freeman be wearing in his hair. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta do something better than that, man. Get that Beijing out. You know what I'm saying? But besides the Beijing, man, I'm proud of the young man. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud
Hey, he do got some type of Asian descent in it, so Beijing, he good. That's part of his culture, man.
I think that Notre Dame they got the luck of the Irish this year because they keep pulling the sorries. I don't believe in Penn State, so I think Ohio State gonna win this now.
Hey, we gonna get to that, Paul. More money. Your reaction on two black head coaches representing their universities in the semifinals of college football playoffs.
Man, it's the significance of it really comes down to the programs that they represent. You know, when you think about Penn State, you think about Joe Paterno, you think about Notre Dame, you think about Lou Holtz, some of the other coaches that they've had over that time. So it's not just that they're meeting, it's the organizations or the colleges that they represent. And I'm going to salute anytime I see two African Americans that's doing it the right way. I don't hear anything negative about them in the news. So I don't know them from a can of paint, but they look like they're doing the right thing, setting an example for the youth. So in that game, in my opinion, there is no losers. So whoever goes out there, I hope they continue to represent the culture and pushing us forward.
Yeah. And my take on it is salute to both of those brothers. You know, I wish both of them good luck. Of course, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I'm leaning with Freeman. But for me, this is a big moment because not only are these two black coaches representing two blue blood universities, two blue blood programs, but I think the key word to what we're going to be seeing this weekend is opportunity. You know what I mean? So you give these black coaches, African-American coaches, opportunity to coach these teams at programs like Penn State, Notre Dame, or Alabama, Georgia, all of these big-time universities. You'll see this probably almost every season. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Deion Sanders, even though, you know, the job he's doing at Colorado, taking them from the mud and giving them some semblance of hope. You know what I mean? You give these coaches.
He will be the Raiders head coach next year. Mark my word. He will be the Raiders head coach.
You heard it here first on the No Cap Sports podcast.
He's going to take Shador, and then he also going to take his son. He will be the Raiders head coach next year. Go ahead, Cole.
Hey, you heard it here first on the No Cap Sports Show podcast. Old Dog said it. Deion Sanders will be the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. All right. You heard it. Hey, you heard it here first. You know what I'm saying? But
breaking news.
But yeah, but that was my only take on that, man. Just opportunity and what that represents for black coaches coming up after them. I think athletic directors, programs that I think they should feel more comfortable. Like, hey, let's get this guy a shot right here, not keep hiring the folks that they used to, or they use, you know what I mean, or someone that looks like them, you know, because we can't do the job with an opportunity. So with that being said, we got 4 teams. We got Ohio State versus Texas. We got Penn State versus Notre Dame. It should be 2 great games. What's our predictions? Mo Money, who you got in those 2 games, brother?
Oh man, I'm with Pumi. I don't trust Penn State, so I'm gonna go Notre Dame. I like Ohio State a lot. I like Ohio State a lot. They got one of the generational talents in college football right now, Jeremiah Smith, and it's gonna be tough for anybody to deal with him and Ibuka, the other wide receiver, and the 2 running backs they have. So overall, I take Ohio State to win it.
To win it all.
To win it all.
Okay. Oh, dog, you like those picks by Mo Money?
Oh yeah, I like Ohio State, and I like I definitely don't like Notre Dame. I like Ohio State, and I like Penn State. I like I think Ohio State. Everybody talk about he's unstoppable, but they don't also need to understand it's a gentleman that plays for University of Texas who just won the Jim Thorpe Award. And if he goes out and does well against him and balls out or whatever the case may be, this is a money-making game for this gentleman right there. So if that defensive back goes and I hold my own regardless of the score, once again, here I go talking about I don't need my team, right? If I go out and do my thing and I hold him 4 catches for 42 yards, right, on 8 targets or 9 targets, then I won. Not, you know what I mean? Texas lost, but I won my game, right? So, but I think Ohio State is going too much power. I truly believe they got more than just him. I think that's what opens up those, because you got to put some people in the box with those 2 good running backs. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a good game, but I like Ohio State and I like Penn State just because they so boring to watch, man. They lower you to sleep and then they throw it to the big 6'7" tight end guy. And monster. I think that's going to be a very boring game between Notre Dame and, because Notre Dame, besides the running back number 4, who else do they even have on their team? Shout out to my boy Jordan Clark. That's on the defensive side. No disrespect to you, Jordan, on the defensive side. Yeah, but who else do y'all have on offense?
But Notre Dame do have the number 1 ranked defense in the country. So
I said that. I said they got a safety that's going to be a first rounder. That's a monster. And they got some dogs on the defense. I'm talking about offensively. It's going to be it's not going to be a high.
Yeah, they have a collective effort type offense.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hey, Poom Dog, who your picks?
Miami.
Nah, I know it ain't Florida State. That's what I know it ain't.
For sure.
It ain't Florida State, but I'm going with Ohio State, and I just don't trust Penn State, man. I just don't, and that's gonna be a terrible game to watch. I ain't gonna lie to you. Notre Dame and Penn State, I might just have to catch the highlights on Sports Center because those are 2 boring little football teams. Don't nobody want to see that shit, but Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
But
Kobe's gonna be watching it with his Joe Paterno dog. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to see that. That's trash TV. And Ohio State gonna kick both of them in the teeth when they play. Whoever they play is getting kicked in the teeth when they play Ohio State. So Ohio State to win it all.
Yeah. I got Ohio State beating Texas, obviously. If Texas can somehow pull off the upset, I'm all for that. I think Texas should be using the young Manning boy at quarterback more because I think some of those games they lost against those marquee opponents, they needed a quarterback who had a little bit more swag and a little bit more mobility, and I think he could have got them over the top in some of those games that they lost this year. So I think if they put a monkey wrench in the game against Ohio State and put Youngin in there, I think that they have an outside chance of getting the upset. Notre Dame, Penn State, from everything that I've read and heard, they like evenly matched teams. They kind of similar. They resemble each other. I haven't really watched Penn State play much this year at all. I heard they got an all-world tight end that's pretty much unstoppable. So hopefully with us having the number 1 defense in the country, we can do something to slow him down. And then hopefully we can do enough offensively because we have 3 very, very super fast running backs. So hopefully we can control the running game offensively. And then also we have a excellent secondary. I mean, not a secondary, but special teams. So hopefully win the special teams game because we do a lot of stuff there. So I got Notre Dame over Penn State. Of course, if Notre Dame play Ohio State is going to win it all. I got them. If I had to project one of those teams to win it all, it's going to be Ohio State. But if Texas upset them, I got Notre Dame winning their first national title since 1988. I said it first. You heard it on the No Cat Sports Show podcast.
Money Mo, boom. They run back 1 kickoff return. Now all of a sudden we talking about special team.
Hey, no, look it up. See, I had to do it. Hey, look, the first time in 2025, man, I had to see. I'm trying to start 2025 right, man, and the Sandman had to come out.
Oh my God!
We got to rotate that button because sometimes you need to get it. We need to
Yeah.
give. We need to
You need to
rotate that.
use
We need to
yourself.
rotate that button, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have that button all the time being a Notre Dame fan.
You got to.
Notre Dame.
Talking all of a sudden, Money Mo. He talking about, yeah, I want to bring in a special team. Man, we ain't talked about special teams the whole 2 years I've been on.
Hey, but Money Mo, because I know he know. Money Mo, am I lying? They get him kudos about their special teams, just like they talk about the Steelers special teams. We supposed to have a special teams unit. That's
Kobe, but Kobe, come on now. Hey, this no cap now. You know they do that because their offense is trash. So you got to point to something. You got to point to something. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying they lead the nation in block punts, right?
They do.
Man, hey, listen, man. You talking about block punts, man?
You petty, man. You petty, man.
You ain't starting off the 2025 No Cap Sports Show talking about block punts, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
but that's how we
win.
Like that's how they got to the playoffs about special teams.
That's how we win. It gets messy out there. We got to do what we can.
Now y'all playing Beamer ball, huh? Now y'all playing Beamer ball.
They playing B-Tech ball.
Hey, I get. Hey, that's fair. I'll accept the criticism. But one thing for damn sure, we didn't, and we're not playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. I tell you that. We're not playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. And not only are we not playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl, we're not going to lose in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Hey, man, y'all trash. Y'all awful, man. Don't ever speak about college football for the rest until next year. I don't want to hear nothing.
You talk about Notre Dame, they first championship since '88. And we didn't even have cell phones in '88, man. Hey. You wasn't even a teenager in '88. You're almost 50 now. Last time Notre Dame won, you was 11 years old. Cut it out. You 50. Last time they won the championship, you was 11, man. You was eating Pop-Tarts. Yeah. You was eating. Hey. You're like, let me get some of the brown sugar Pop-Tarts, Mom. Can you give me some strawberry Pop-Tarts, Mom? So I can watch my Notre Dame football game.
Look, I'd rather be relevant year after year after year after year than to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. I might eat them, but I ain't playing in it. If I was the team captain, we go to the coach's office and say, Coach, we are not playing. We will forego our bowl berth. We are not playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's
shout out to all the youngest that played in the bowl, all the college kids is now preparing for the NFL draft. Shout out to the young boy Kenny Gallup, Six, Carson, all the youngest from Howard University, all the youngest around the country that is preparing for this NFL combine and NFL pro days, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Keep your head down. Continue to work. Stay grinding. Stay away from people that don't have your values and what you're trying to get done. You know what I'm saying? As far as mindset, if somebody's trying to get you away from it, then that's not the people that you need to be around. So shout out to all those guys talking about bowl games that just finished playing in the bowl games and getting ready for this college combine stuff. Shout out to those.
Absolutely, and definitely salute to you, KG. Man, big season this year, man. You followed up an excellent last season and played even better this season. I'm looking forward to watching you for the rest of your career. I know we're going to be watching you on Sundays, and I'm hoping you just up the Beltway in Baltimore, brother, because we definitely could use you.
Man, listen. Y'all could definitely need first of all no cheerleaders going up on the pyramid because we don't want Lamar hitting them in the face, knocking them off. That's the first thing. Lamar Jackson gonna hit somebody on the sidelines in the face with the ball. I'm telling you, watch. I guarantee it.
With only 4 picks, he don't hit the other team, so I take it.
You right.
But look, we already been going. We're a little over time, but before we roll out, is one more topic I think we should discuss. We'll be irresponsible if we don't discuss a hot topic that our viewers and listeners want our opinions on. So the biggest story that's been going on out there in the past 48 hours is the Fox Sports Network scandal, whatever the case may be. So a hairstylist, I think her name is Nushin Faraji, she filed a lawsuit against Fox Sports Network that also included a lawsuit against Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon, show host Skip Bayless, show host Joy Taylor, and also Emmanuel Acho was mentioned in the lawsuit. Before we get out of here, I just want to go around the horn and get your guys' opinion on this latest scandal. And I know I'm gonna save you for last, old dog, because it's kind of something we've been touching on for the past couple years. When you get accusations like this, you know what I'm saying, and the way they've been handling these accusations compared to when, let's say, an athlete gets these accusations. So I want Omar to take the anchor on this one and give his opinion last. So I'll start with you, Mo Money.
Man, Cat Williams done started some shit. Ever since he got on Shane Show, motherfuckers been getting exposed, man.
In 2020 and 2024.
Man, hey. All I can say is, man, sometimes, we look at people and you can tell maybe they don't have the greatest of character. Something in my soul just didn't sit right with Skip Bayless. I always knew he wasn't no good. But I don't wish any bad on anybody. I don't know all the details of the case, but it fits what my intuition was telling me about Skip Bayless. So, the truth will come out in the matter, but I know old dog will touch on it, so I'm not even gonna go down that road. I'm gonna let him drive that bus. But all I can say is everybody doesn't get treated the same in these situations. Some people are guilty into proven innocent, and some people got to prove their innocence. So that's all I got to say about that.
Pumi, your response to the allegations.
So I haven't looked too deeply into them. I know they talked about Skip Bayless offering 1.5. That's a mean. You must really, really want her if you willing to give 1.5. Come on, Skip. 1.5. 1.5. That's crazy. And the Joy Taylor. My only thing with the Joy Taylor situation, I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Joy Taylor fan, but I think she did a good job. You know what I'm saying? I think she did on her show. She did a good job. So I think it's kind of unfair now, the narrative that everybody's giving her. Oh, you slept your way. Well, I think the fact that she got an opportunity, how she got it, she shows that she's capable of doing the job. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that this talented woman can't get that opportunity without sleeping with somebody, I think is more indictment on our culture and society than her. You know what I'm saying? Because I think she's talented. I think she does a good job. And if given that opportunity, she would have done the job. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. I think it's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because women are always looked at differently than men. You know what I'm saying? We saw that, in the presidential, campaign. Donald Trump's able to say things that Kamala Harris can never say. He's able to do things that she couldn't do. It's the same way, because if it was a dude, if that executive vice president was a woman and a dude slept with her, wouldn't nobody, think any differently of her and of him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's sometimes it is unfair, but it's the world we live in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I agree with both of you guys, and I think just the newest trend, for a lack of a better word, the newest trend that we're going to be seeing for probably the rest of the year into 26. We've seen other things, throughout the past 5 years or so. and it kind of fizzled out after a year. So, and I think this is just the newest one. And I think, like Mo Money said, I think Kyle Williams, I think he kicked it off. I mean, as funny as it may sound, his prediction has come true. Since he said that, a lot of people has been getting exposed. A lot of things that has been going on in the dark has been coming out to light. Now, again, these are just allegations, so we don't know if these accusations are true or not. But, as much as I want it to be true about Skip Bayless, I just don't have him offering a woman $1.5 million to sleep with her. I just can't see him doing that. But, hey, you never know. The Charlie Dixon executive vice president accusation, hey, who knows? I mean, it happens all the time, especially in the whole TV world. We saw that whole that old TV series about how Fox News got started and how that executive he pretty much slept with all the anchor women that got their positions. So it's something that happens. We see it all the time. So I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff does come out to be true. We'll see. But right now there's allegations and the Joy Emmanuel Acho thing. I mean, two young people see each other all the time. It happens, right? It happens. So some of it is big news. Some of it, you're just being petty. We really don't need to hear about it. But I'm interested to see where this stuff lands at. And Dog, I want you to take us home with this one.
I'm not gonna be too long or go like I normally would, Money Mo. Since we just had our pre-meeting earlier, so I am going to talk a little bit about we're sitting here talking about the Skip Bayless thing, but nobody's talking about the former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, where they were doing a whole as far as sex trafficking men, right, for over 8 to 10 years, but we don't talk about that the way we talk about an athlete. Where it's allegations, getting into an argument over at the elevator, that's all over ESPN. And our people, right? Our people are quick to say, oh, well, crucify him or crucify or whatever the case may be, but nobody talks about this situation or whatever. Now, part of that is because obviously with the narrative, we know who controls the media, right? So we're not going to see that, like as if we would see, like you guys probably, I don't even know if you guys knew about the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO thing.
I did.
Right. Now look that up. Now I'm not going to talk about how nasty and disgusting it is. It is disgusting. It is terrible. That's the reason why I'm not going to talk about it so much. But with that being said, this is something that was going on for 10 years, right? Sex trafficking for 10 years, right? And they have proof in an indictment, right? But when not saying anything with Diddy, Sean, whatever his name is, did, but that's all over everywhere, right? You got videos out, movies, documentaries out, but nobody's talking about what this gentleman did or what the gentleman did at Fox. As far as Skip Bayless goes and Acho, hey, they work together, out getting fried, co-worker. We do what we do. We still gonna be. And like Pumi said, she is good at what she does. I don't care who she slept with. It's none of my business. Joy Taylor is good at what she does. She really is. She controls the room. I like how she works with Keyshawn and Paul Pierce now. They got a great, great energy and stuff like that. I like when she was on the show with Acho and all the Shady McCoy and the other boy Jones or whatever that used to play at Green Bay. So I think she does a great job. As far as Skip offering whatever, hey, Lil Wayne said it best. It ain't tricking if you got it. So hey, if you can offer somebody 1.5 for whatever, then so be it. That's on you. But I think it's just unfortunate because we're not seeing the press or the media. We're not seeing the news clips. I mean, Sean did it's Puffy come. It was you wake up first thing in the morning, last thing before you go to sleep. But here it is. I bring up the Abercrombie and Fitch former CEO, and 3 of my co-hosts has never even heard about it. and this is something that's been going on. It happened. He got indicted the same time Puffy or Sean, whatever his name is, got indicted. You know what I mean? And in the same, they got witnesses, the whole nine. So it's unfortunate, but I think we sort of know what it is. But let's, as a people, let's stop beating up these athletes. Yeah, they know who I'm looking at. Stop beating up these athletes. And so, yeah, this athlete, or whatever, have that same energy for not just the athletes, but let's have that same energy for everybody that's out here. Because I don't care if you're an athlete or whatever. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Right. So let's keep that same energy, you know, not just for athletes, but for everybody, whether they're male, female, older, younger, or whatever. You know what I mean? And let's stop jumping to conclusion and saying the athlete.
Yeah, man. So, salute to that, man. You heard it right here, and I just want to salute Joy Taylor. To O-Dog's point, she does do an awesome job. She's one of the best out there in mainstream media, sports media, and also in the podcast space with her and Taylor Rooks. They have an awesome podcast as well. Mm-hmm. So she's doing her thing, man. And shit, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. We appreciate y'all joining us in our first episode of 2025. I promise you, we got some heat coming for y'all for the rest of the year. We got some awesome guests coming on the show. We appreciate your support each and every week. Continue to support us. We're gonna continue to give you this great content. And as always, respect and honor. Salute.
Salute.